Is my audio working? That I don't know. Chat filter. Maybe that then? No. Supposed to do. No. Start a poll, start a Q&A. Okay, let's try going back into my live and seeing if it has audio. That would be helpful. Audio. Oh. I got audio now. I got audio now. Well, at least we fixed that. Now I wonder if I can plug it in and charge it. If you're coming back to the stream, thank you. I realized I didn't have audio for a half hour, and I don't know what was causing it. So I am going to attempt to plug it in and charge it. All right, I have audio for that. Now I'm going to try to go Bluetooth with my headphones so that I can keep working and protect my ears. So let me turn this up. Now let's see if I have audio. All right. Everything's working the way it should. That's nice. Okay. So we're going to start out this from the beginning. I am working on making a bandsaw box for a YouTube video. And right now, I just figured I'd go live. Well, I've been trying to go live, but it was taking a while. And I'm just sanding the box. And I got a couple of the sides down. My first bandsaw box was this one right here I did a couple days ago. And I decided to scale it up. The kids are really liking these. I'm just going to finish sanding up some of the spots. If you guys have any questions or if you've made a bandsaw box, let me know. Let's just get back at it. Yeah, it's starting to smooth out there. I think if I would have known a little bit more about making bandsaw boxes, it probably wouldn't be so much sanding. I cut it and then I let it dry too much and made the gap stick out a little bit. Hopefully the sanding's not too loud. If it is, let me know when we chat. I got the chat up over here on my other computer. I just got a lot more sanding than I thought I was going to have on this box I'm working on. Liking that. Now I'm going to go over to the spindle sander. It might get a little bouncy. Actually, instead of bouncing around too much, what if I could just flip the camera? Oh yeah, look, that's where I'll be standing and sanding. Let's see if I get a little closer. I got to turn my GoPro on too because I'm also recording this for YouTube. That camera's in the way. Let me see if I can put it above my phone. That might be better. Let's turn it on. Actually, I'll probably put it over here. I wonder if I can hook it on to something else. Ah, this will work. Maybe. I'm not sure where. I want to hook it on this. Oh, here we go. There. Now I can see what I'm doing over there. You guys can watch me sand these. This inside was a little hard to get into. So I'm just going to sand that up a little bit with a spindle sander here. Unfortunately, the shelves, I'm not going to be able to sand like that. Well, because I want them to fit within the cavity. All right, we're going to put the camera up here. Turn this off for a second. Oops. Now we'll flip the camera back to me over here. All right. Let's see. Hello. Sorry, my vision's not very good. I can't see that good. Exactly. Tiny furniture. That's why my daughter loves this little one. She wants to put little trinkets in it. And I was like, you know, I saw a lot of things on at craft shows and things like that. I was like, why not make little tiny boxes? And I kind of like this shape. I wanted the little tighter radius in here, but I didn't have the right blade for that with my bandsaw. But definitely tiny furniture. I'll do a little hand sanding in here. Clean it up a bit. I have a shipping blanket down, so as I'm sanding my parts, I don't end up getting more scratches on them. I guess I didn't even realize I got a lot on there. Thanks. You start getting used to it. Alright, so this is all roughly sanded. Now I'm just going to work on the drawers, and then I can go through and sand them again. Let me turn on my GoPro, and I'm going to talk to the camera for that, so that might sound a little weird. Alright guys, as you just saw me, I got done sanding the box all the way on to 120 grit. There's a lot more sanding I thought, because the glue lines, if I would have done this sooner, I think I would have glued it up the same day as I cut on the bandsaw, because of the fact that everything kind of shrunk and got a little distorted. But it's looking pretty good so far. Now we're going to sand the drawers, and yeah, let's see what happens. That's alright, that was for my video. It might seem weird to do a live and make a video at the same time. But, you know, I'm kind of new to the whole live thing. I figured I'd give it a shot. I might have to get a separate camera holder so it doesn't bounce my live around too much. Okay. Get those intense close-up shots here. Record. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like a tiny bookshelf, now that you say that. But I'm making the drawers right now. It's going to fit in there. That's the bottom drawer. And this is the top drawer. Right now, just getting everything sanded. I don't know if I should angle the camera down a little. There we go. Does that help? Now, can you hear me talk while I'm sanding? Or is the sanding too loud? Because I'm not sure how I can fix that. And I could keep talking as I'm sanding. I really don't want to sand too much on the floor because I'm worried that it's going to change the shape too much and lose a bigger reveal. But I also don't want to see all these blue lines. This one's just my first one I've ever made. I'm going to give it to my kids, but still, if they pass it down to their kids or whatever, I don't want to have blue lines on the inside, you know what I mean? There we go. I'm just going to do the back. The back I'm going to barely touch because I don't want it to set in any farther back than it's going to. But the front, I drew pencil lines on it because I was trying to design the stuff that I wanted. So that one's done. Pop that in there. I mean, the gaps aren't perfect, but they are what they are. Let's see here. I think that's... Sorry, I was just turning off the GoPro. I think that's enough footage of sanding for the YouTube video. I'm gonna use, let me see if I can switch the camera over. I think they're in this cupboard over here. I used making these wooden gnomes for a while, and I was gluing these little wooden pegs on. I might use them again. Let me switch the camera around. I might use these again. I did on this box I made, my sample box. I mean, you can't really pull on it, so I don't know if that's going to work well. I might make something different. Maybe I'll cut some mini handles out on that little bandsaw back there. I think that'd be neat. Maybe I'll make my own little poles, or maybe I'll make like a triangle wedge so I can grip it. These little circles aren't really anything you can grip onto. They're kind of flat on one side. I keep dropping them every time I want to show the camera. Let's see, they're flat on one side and curved over there. So yeah, that's true. I do like how cute these are. Because of, like, I don't know, it reminds me of like an old TV stand or something. But I'll get this one all sanded and we'll get some clear coat on it. Well, I might use for this, because I kind of want to see what it'll look like. I'm not sure, but I'm going to use some boiled linseed oil. Maybe if you flatten that. Yeah, that's a good idea too. Like come in on this side of an angle, you think, and then you could grip underneath. That's a good idea. I'll have to think about that. Let me go put these back, and then I keep dropping them all over. And then we'll get back to sanding this. I'm not sure how the live goes too much for my YouTube channel live, but if you guys give it some likes, maybe that'll help get it out there. I'm trying to get up to 11,000 subscribers. I think right now I want to say like 18 away, so that'd be helpful. I'm almost there. All right, I'm gonna get back to sanding this, and then we can figure out those drawer pulls. A little bit of glue here. Thanks for those lights. I think that's all I'm gonna do on sanding the outside edges. I don't want to change the shape too much. I'm just gonna sand the front off here. Let's see how that fits. And if you're curious what kind of wood species I used, it was maple and white oak. Oh yeah, look at that. Got the box all sanded. Now I'm going to sand it to a little smoother, different, higher grit, and figure out those door pulls. And then the final step would put in on, I think I'm going to use boiled linseed oil, just because I want to see how that works on a bandsaw box, and kind of getting sick of putting lacquer on everything. It's kind of expensive, and it kind of stops you from being able to feel what the wood should feel like, if you know what I mean. So let's change grits. Let's see. What's this? 220, 180. There we go. 100. No. 120. Why aren't these things in order? I swear when I bought them, it's just a bunch of random orders. There's a 180 right here. I hardly ever use the net sandpaper. Mostly because I don't have a vacuum hooked up to my pawn sander. And that would help get the dust out. But unfortunately, in between grits, that's all I really have. Alright, so let's get these all sanded up. All right. Those are starting to feel nice. Now, I'd love to get into the flocking on the inside. I didn't buy any of that yet. I felt like for my first actual bandsaw, maybe it was a little too much. But on my next one, maybe I'll order some of the flocking to give it a shot. Um, I was looking into it. I kind of like the color, like the blues and the greens. I know a lot of people do black, but I feel like it'd be cool to see a green one in some wood. But now I'm going to sand the outside of the box itself. All right, let's see there. That's what I was thinking. Colored flocking would be probably the way I want to check it out. Especially if I was at a craft show and got to like open up a box and like I don't know, it was like a darker wood, like black walnut or something. And then like a bright green with like you could see on a pool table or something. More foresty. I think that'd be kind of nice. That's what I don't like about these. They just don't really stick that well. And I don't know. They got like the different colors I've seen are like green and blue and black are like the more common. Even the blue is kind of neat, but black just seems, I don't know, too plain to use on the inside of the drawer. I mean, maybe if it was like this maple one, then it would have that nice contrast. Before I get too far, I'm going to router some of the edges here so that when I do my final sanding, it'll be more round over. And then I can sand off anything that, the router might have left behind. I haven't decided if I want to round over the drawers or not, or try to keep that completely, because it might make it so the gap's even more. I might just leave the drawers the way they are. I think I'm going to put some rubber bumps on the back though to kind of space them out farther, so they kind of stick maybe a little proud, and then I'll put a round over that. Let me see how if I have any of those rubber My booth stuff went amazing. I did really good at craft shows this year. I think that I'm gonna try to double how many I do, just so I can make some more money for the family, because it was very helpful. Oh, I do have this little tiny handle. I had another one. Thought I had some little rubber stoppers for the back of picture frames I did a while back. I could find those. Did I stick them up there? Nope. Doesn't look like it. Well, there we go. At least we tried. Oops, wrong button. Try to flip the camera back. Hit the wrong button. All right, back at it. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna round these over though really quick, and then switch back to. Now we're gonna go to 220. Get that sanded. I wouldn't say what I'm gonna do is the safest thing, so I wouldn't recommend it unless you're comfortable. I'm gonna put the router on the table, and I have a router table over here. It's about this height. And I think that what I want to do in a future video is make some sort of like storage under it and pick it up to like about here, so I can actually get in there and get the blade to the level I'd like, because it being so low, it's hard to get everything lined up. I think I wanted to make sure I had enough room on both pieces. Unfortunately, I don't run a lot of bigger stuff. Everything kind of small for like when I do craft shows and everything. Let me grab this router. Ugh. GoPro. Yeah, the felt would be. I've seen the felt that already has the sticker on the back that you can just peel and stick right in. I thought about that too. I mean, it's probably a lot cheaper than the flocking. Yes, this is one way. Let's see if I get it in frame. All right, there we go. Sorry if that's weird on the live, seeing the GoPro, but trying to do two things at once. which I have to clean up, but that's why I'm doing it now. Battery died. Okay, let's see what battery I have. Oh. Let's flip the camera. Pause that. Let's I'll just grab one off the drill. Oh, they're all dead too. Perfect. All right. I might step off camera for a second. I'm just going to grab a battery out of my battery charging area, which they might all be dead over here. One way to find out. Probably should plug those in. So right now I'm just plugging in the batteries. Let those charge. This one might have power. Nope, that didn't have power. Well, no. I got one more battery I can use. Besides the one in the fan. That's an option too. This one has power in it. Okay. There we go. I like that. Now I think I'm going to do this inside piece here because it might look a little better. But I don't want to touch, no, I don't know. It really burnt it, but that's the end of that. Got those all rounded. Now I'm gonna sand out some of the burn marks and everything down to 220. All right, let's see. Hello, nice to see you. Yeah, if you're just joining in, making a bandsaw box, sanding everything really quick, and then next I'm going to tackle the little drawer handles. While I'm doing that, I'm making a YouTube video with my GoPro. So, yeah, if you want to stick in, hang out with the shop and watch me make some stuff. I try to answer the comments as they come through. Got any questions, let me know. Feel free to ask. Have you ever made a bandsaw box? If not, they're a lot of fun. can make them with smaller bandsaws like I have in the back corner here. I just got a bigger bandsaw. That's why I'm doing like a thicker, wider one. I usually just use that to, you know, do little birdhouse design stuff and things like that. But I can turn this off. Okay. Just to the live now. Yeah, I've just got a little more burning than I would like in there. You like see that, and right in the corners there. I'm cleaning that up really quick. Pretty sweet. I can't wait to get finish on here and see what it looks like between the two. If you look, it's kind of cool how the maple pieces I had, where the pit is of the tree is a different species of wood. So it kind of like, I don't know, encapsulates it. It's kind of neat. That's the nice thing about bandsaw boxes. You can change out all kinds of stuff on them. Different grain patterns and stuff like that. Ugh. All right, so I'll sand this down. Thank you. I really hope so. I mean, one for the video, and also I think I'm gonna give this one to my oldest daughter, and then the little one to my littlest, and then I'll have to make something really unique for my middle child. I'm just not sure, like, how much to even price bandsaw boxes if I was going to sell them at, you know, craft shows. Like, you put a lot of time in sanding and designing them. I can't imagine them this going for very much. Maybe like $35, $40, depending on the cost of the material. But let's see here. Now we got everything sanded, put it together. There we go. I don't got any more burn marks on it, I don't think. Might do a little bit of hand sanding around the edges just to make sure I get it all. Get those hard to reach spots. So what have you guys been working on lately? For me, the craft show season kind of just ended. Usually right after Christmas, it's like I got time to build up for a couple months before the next couple craft shows that are going to be coming up. I think are going to be like March or something like that. Yeah, I think I like that a lot. Just break the edges on the drawers here. There we go. Nice and soft. No one can get hurt. Maybe I'll just put some thin board on the back to push the front out to the same level. Yeah, I might do that. Sand this one down. Yeah, I still have to put the Christmas tree down myself and all the ornaments. I was going to do that today when I'm done with this. I'd like to edit my YouTube video today too, because I got to go to work tomorrow. And just be nice to feel like I got something accomplished this week. I mean, got to hang out with the family all week. It's been nice. But you know how it is. Try to get that time to get caught up on stuff that you want to get caught up on. You got too many things to do. There we go. He just wants around the inside here. All right. Now I got to decide what kind of knobs I want to do. See what kind of hardwood I have laying around. I kind of really want to try the wedge shape. I saw a guy do that on his little drawers. Then I don't really want to do that either. I kind of want like an actual like U-shape handle. that might be nice. Let's see. Let me see what I got laying around hardwood wise. Oh, there's some walnut. What's this? Here's some cherry. That'd be nice. Different color. All right, let's move everything over to the little bandsaw. Let's see what kind of little handle it can just freehand. And if I like it, then I'll record it for the YouTube video. So we'll do some live practices on YouTube Live. Then I can let's move this up here. Got the light glued up. Yeah, my camera thing is basically a 5-gallon bucket with a pole sticking in it that's been concreted in, so it's kind of hard to move around. And then I put wheels on it. Let's see here. Move this out of the way real quick. I wonder if I can hook this to something else. Well, maybe yeah, that'll work. Pull this over here. Rotate this. I can see if I can get the good camera angle anyways on the bandsaw. All right. So for this drawer, I think this red cherry would look kind of cool. I want the grain to go that way. So, not the greatest artist, but you know, we'll see what I can do here. With my limited skills. Where did I put that? Oh, I got a pencil here in my pocket. So, I want the grain to run with that. So we're gonna go here. Actually, I'm gonna record it too because the stock is thick enough that I can get 2 out of it. If I cut it once and I like it, I might as well just record it too, because why waste a piece of wood just for another shot? Yeah, that seems good. I might need to sand them after I'm done. I'm thinking I might go. Oh, let me turn this on. Thinking I might go something like. How long can I go? That might work. Maybe it's too big. I don't know. Go rough shape for now. Something like this. Then inner one. Like that. Is that too long? Yeah, what do you guys think like that? I mean, it might be too big. I can always shape it up a little bit after I get it down to what I want. I might make these a little wider though to start with, because I think that, you know, kids and everything, Make it a little wider. Yeah, I kind of like that shape. Let's see what happens. Well, I like the shape. I kind of like it, but I realize it's probably been easier to cut the inside out first instead of me trying to do it now. So let's just cut this off. And try it again. Use that same idea though, that same shape. It's like a little bit of meat with some glue. It doesn't really have to cut too much out. It's not like it's actually going to be functional for a finger to fit in there. Something like that. There you go. Now the outside one. Now I'm just gonna, I like the shape, very good. I'm gonna cut two in half. Best way to do something like this, make a quick spoiler board. I'm just gonna take this piece of plywood. And clamp it down. You have a clamp. Now I got a zero set. Before I do that, I kind of want to sand it all as one really quick. Hello. If you're just joining in, I'm making some little handles right now for this bandsaw box. I took a piece of scrap cherry because the box is made of maple and white oak, and I thought the cherry would look kind of cool on there. So I drew out a little design here, as you can see, and now I'm just sanding everything because I thought it would be easier to sand it now than when I go to splice it in two. Before I do that, I'm also gonna have this flat piece of wood with sandpaper on. I'm gonna try to make sure this is nice and flat so when I glue it on, it's not hung up on one side or the other. That's pretty flat. I'm going to do a little more. Thank you for the likes. I'm not sure if it's going to help, but I'm sure anything helps at this point. Just trying to get to 11,000 subscribers. I think I needed and before I started this, I think I needed like something like 12 more. So I appreciate any help that anyone can give me. There we go. Got all the bandsaw marks out of that, except the inside piece. That'd be the harder part to sand. Let me grab some hand sandpaper here. Now, I'm not going to get all the burning out of this, I know. I could try to get this around with the spindle sander. That's not a bad idea. But I think that if I get it smooth, actually it's coming out a lot easier than I thought. Now I'll do some round over on the edges while I got it in one piece here. Easier to hold on to. It's looking like a pretty nice handle. Now we're just going to take this handle that I made. I'm going to split it in two. It's not perfect. It's a little thicker here than there, but I think that's what the idea behind the whole bandsaw box is, because everything's like a little organic because I just traced it on some wood and cut it out. So now I'm going to try to find a center line, which looks right about here. We'll do something like that. Oops, that trailed off. Like that. There we go. I'm going to try to splice this piece in half. Oh. Welcome from Brazil. Hello. Oh, my GoPro just turned off. I gotta, if you're just started, I'm also trying to record a YouTube channel at the same time, you know, or a YouTube video at the same time. So I did put this fence on here for smaller parts so that it doesn't get caught on that little plate. So I just took a piece of plywood I had, run a line in it, clamped it down. Oh, what I'm making? I'm making a bandsaw box, and right now I'm trying to get the handles for the box. So the box is made out of maple, so I took a scrap piece of cherry, traced it out here, and cut it on the bandsaw, and now I'm going to split this into two so that I have two handles, because our box has two drawers. So I got to turn my GoPro on and cut this little drawer. Handle. There we go. Now I'm going to take this flat sandpaper I got here. Just get rid of that bandsaw mark. Turn my GoPro off. I left it running too long during the sanding process. I'm filling up the camera card. All right. I'll sand it out pretty good. Now I'm going to check and see if they're still flat. Yep. Now I just got to break the inside edge there with hand sandpaper. And get the pencil lines off. Now, I'm not sure what kind of like glue I want to attach these to the bandsaw box with. Should I just go with wood glue or should I just try super glue to speed up the process? Because I would like to today, because I gotta work tomorrow, have this box done and add some boiled linseed oil just because I want to see what it looks like. I think just because I'm impatient, I'm going to try super glue. There we go. Two matching handles. Now let's go over to the box, see how that looks. Maybe I should move that back a little farther. Okay. So this will be the bandsaw box I'm working on. This is a little drawer, bigger drawer, and these are the handles. There's a little bit of the bandsaw line right here I want to get rid of. There we go. All right. Yeah, I think wood glue overall would end up being stronger. So I think you're right. If I'm going to sell these to people, I definitely don't want to be super gluing the handles to on. I feel like, especially when I do craft shows, some of the stuff is gets so hot that it deforms, and I don't know how the crap like out in the sun how long super glue will last if I was gonna sell them. Now I am just gonna eyeball these on there and glue them on because I am crazy and I like the idea of it just being set on there. I don't know what it is. It's more like organic feeling to me than if I was actually gonna plan everything out. Agreed. I definitely want to see what how this looks. Let me find the super glue. Oh, there it is. Or all those fancy YouTubers call it CA glue. Sorry if that sounded weird drinking. Okay. Let me find a knife really quick. Let's see. Glue coming out yet? No. Yeah, my camera battery's almost dead too. I gotta hurry up this YouTube video. Let's see. Oh, I think the glue might come out now. Yep, there it is. I'll hit record on the GoPro. All right. Hopefully I don't have too much glue squeeze out. Add a little pressure. Just gluing on some handles. Hopefully I made the right choice with cherry. I also had a piece of walnut. I thought about doing that, but to be completely honest, my favorite wood of all right now is cherry. Walnut's nice and everything, but I just love the red tones of the cherry. And if I get good enough on these bandsaw boxes, there's this craft show I do every year. It's all based about it's like Apple themed. Let's think about making some Bandsaw boxes out of some apple wood, kind of tie it all in. Got a little bit of glue squeeze up there. There we go. Well, that's it. Oh, that'd be cool too. I mean, at that point, I could make the whole thing like a tree with little tiny drawers that are apples or something. I don't know. There's so many possibilities with bandsaw boxes. All right, I'm gonna clean up my table. We're gonna lay down some cardboard, and then we're gonna apply some boiled linseed oil. So just give me a second, and yeah, we'll see what this looks like here shortly. If I didn't have so many projects laying around on all my benches, I could. Man, I got this table over here. It wouldn't take too long to clean up. You could just use that instead of the table saw. Probably should do a whole day of just a video of me cleaning up the workshop, tripping over everything. Last year's craft shows were kind of a hurry up, get in here and knock things out type thing. Let's move this closer over here. Oops. Turn the camera off until I'm ready. Got more batteries, but they're inside. Speaking of batteries, how's my phone doing? Oh, not terrible. Plug that in too while I'm over here. Oops. Why that loosen so much? Let's see. Okay. Might have to move this camera to get a better angle. Okay. Oh, the cardboard's right there. Couple pieces of cardboard down. Yeah, the bandsaw box and the drawers. Um, I mean, I think that just communicating with whatever the whoever's hosting the events. Um, I've been doing one of my biggest shows for a few years, and one of the people that run it, um, I've been talking about getting a corner spot for a few years. Well, now I've gotten a corner spot, which usually, I mean, this year it pretty much doubled how much I made last year. Maybe more than doubled. So really, I think that I just kept going and kept good communications. I never caused any problems. I made sure my tents were really secured. No one wants someone's tent to destroy a bunch of other people's stuff. So when I got my spot, now I have that corner spot until I don't want it anymore. So I'm kind of like locked in. Me and a buddy have a like this whole section of the park. So it's like three booths that we like share. So that was the best thing is like just doing events, getting to know the people running the events, and then I think that's all it is because I didn't know them locally. I I've seen them in town, but I didn't really ever talk to them. I'm usually not out getting out much. Usually in the workshop. Grab some gloves because I feel like anytime I use boiled linseed oil, it seems like it takes forever to come off my hands. Some rag. Oh, you're local? Yeah, I mean, my spot is, I did like it. Thank you. I try to make sure my setup looks really nice. I think that helps when we're doing craft shows. Oh man, great. I think I've had this box or bottle for too long. Hi, nice to dropping in. I working on a bandsaw box right now. Getting ready. Just got done making some cherry handles for it, as you can see on the bandsaw. Hello. And I'm getting ready to add some boiled linseed oil. So if I can get the container open, it doesn't sound good. I'm gonna have to get some channel locks. But just hanging out on a Sunday, trying to get this making a YouTube video at the same time for my channel. Come on. I swear everything has wood glue on it and I don't know how. All right, there we go. What was that noise? Oh. There it goes. Whew. My phone's dying. I gotta plug that in too. Good thing I got this long cord. Gotta find the best spot to plug it in though. Oh, okay. This is what I'm working on right now. A bandsaw box. This is the drawers. Getting ready to put some boiled linseed oil on it right now. Just got done putting the cherry handles on it. And I'm recording a YouTube video, the full-length video, as I'm doing the live today. Just hanging out in the shop. My wife had to work a lot this week, so I didn't get enough time to get this video done like I wanted. But that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to try to knock it out. I just got to turn the GoPro on. Let's see how that looks. Looks pretty good, as long as I'm in this frame. Click record. I do love the smell of boiled linseed oil, though. Alright, moment of truth. See how this all turned out. Oh, shoot. I didn't want to do that. Instead of wasting it, let's pick it up. Wow, look at that color so far. Now I'm just getting the inside. It's probably like the hardest spot to grab, but I figured, you know, it'll last longer if it's protected all the way around, inside and out. I want to hand these down to the kids, so maybe they can keep something when I'm gone. I need a lot more. Well, that I must have got glue on there or something. Yeah, I'm sitting there rubbing the same spot over and over again on the inside of the drawer here. And the glue must have coated over it, and I can't get any boiled linseed oil on it. Which I do remember rubbing that glue into that a lot, so makes sense. I think I should have, after I did that, sanded the inside with the or the spindle sander. That might have helped. Nice. Now I'll do the drawers really quick. Putting the finish on. And after that, let it dry for a minute, wipe some off. I'm glad I got most of the glue out of the inside. Looks pretty good. Alright. Let those dry. See if we can get this cap back on. Oh yeah. Put those there. Turn the GoPro off. Okay, I'll turn the camera towards me. All right, yeah, now I'm just wiping off the excess. It's looking pretty sweet though. Yeah, I don't know if you can see the color on the camera so good, but there. Inside. Wipe off the drawers. I think I might do these lives more often. Kind of fun. I mean, usually I'm out here listening to a podcast or music, but since I got my headphones in, I can't do that because I'm talking through them. But it wasn't bad. It was actually felt nice not to hear the extra noise. I don't know if that's just because I'm getting older. Just hanging out with people on the internet and get some work done in the shop today. Well, if you guys stuck out the whole time, I just want to say thank you for hanging out for the whole hour and 45 minutes. I do appreciate that. Everyone that hangs out and so just supporting my channel. Thank you so much. Now I got the last drawer done. There we go. You could see some of the colors popped out with the oil there. I want to say thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm going to end the stream here, and I'll have to do this more often. Hope to see you guys on the next live. Thanks.